Why most chronic health conditions are autoimmune in nature. They may not have progressed to an autoimmune disease, but they're autoimmune in nature. An autoimmune response is occurring. And let me share with you more about that. So anytime we have a chronic health condition, it's because breakdown is occurring greater than repair. Because if repair was working better than breakdown, we wouldn't have a chronic health condition. But when breakdown is occurring faster than repair, then we are going to have issues and we're going to develop a chronic condition. So breakdown greater than repair, and one of the reasons for increased breakdown is an autoimmune response in the body. Two key systems are to protect us, our nervous system and our immune system. Anytime our immune system gets stressed, it can start attacking tissues in our own body because it's stressed and confused. And so genetics and environmental stressors and mental emotional stressors all combine to create an autoimmune response where the immune system is beating up on our own tissue, causing greater breakdown, and that greater breakdown is giving us a chronic condition. So these autoimmune responses can, if they continue for many years, can turn into a frank autoimmune disease. But I don't want to suggest that people have the lab markers or other things for and all the symptoms for a frank autoimmune disease, but that does happen, of course. Now, calming and soothing these immune responses reduces their ability to manifest into an autoimmune disease. And in health, all these things intertwine to respond to environmental stress. And so the brain and the immune system, as we've talked about in other videos, dance together and work together to protect us. But this dance allows us to evaluate the brain and then see what the immune system is doing at the same time. And so when we stand a person up and we see that the brain doesn't behave like it should, the person doesn't sway, and they don't react with some functional testing that we do, then we activate the brain left and right, and then reflex points will come on display which represent different immune stresses. We'll find those reflex points that are involved, and that's our window into the brain, and then we see the brain behave more normally. We know that an autoimmune response is taking place. And therefore, that's tied in with increased breakdown. So our primary therapeutic approach is to reset the brain to these stress traumas with a technique called QNRT, and then assist the immune system in overcoming that infection, that food allergen or sensitivity, that environmental allergen, that toxin or that heavy metal toxicity, and help the person recover. So when we're working on the immune side and the brain side together, they can dance together and deal with the issue. But if they're not dancing together, there's going to be health problems. But I'm saying to you, through years and years of experience, that most often when we have a chronic condition, it's because an autoimmune response is taking place and there is greater breakdown than there is repair. And that's how we find our pathway forward to solving a lot of chronic conditions. For example, every person I've ever checked with fibromyalgia since we've been doing this QNRT system has showed an autoimmune response. Because what do you have? Greater breakdown in the muscles than there is repair, and in the nervous system. So many chronic conditions show an autoimmune response, and people don't realize that that's going on. And people don't know that there's a differentiation between an autoimmune response and an autoimmune disease. So an autoimmune disease is simply an autoimmune response that has occurred for much time, or great severity and therefore we can help many people with these autoimmune responses and help them to be healthier and recover better and live a higher quality of life. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined. Watch some of our other videos on YouTube in the autoimmune playlist and learn more about how the immune system and the brain dance together, why immune care is like bowling, a new approach to autoimmunity, and autoimmune illness, how to stop attacking yourself. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined.